Well, I'm getting a really late start today. It's almost 5 o'clock, but I procrastinated all day. I did not want to do this job. And actually, that's some fuel for me. I don't want to keep doing this. So I want to declutter as much as I can. If you've ever decluttered and 6 months or a year later, you're thinking, did I even do anything? What's happened? That's the norm. And I'm going to explain to you why it's actually okay. Welcome to the Peaceful Home. I'm so glad you've joined me today. We are at the very end of this 30-day decluttering challenge. Now, I'm working in my garage today, and seasonal work is really important. At least twice a year, I'm putting away pool towels, river towels, and sun hats. We also have an above-ground pool that we just took down last week. And we did get it rolled up and put on the shelf, but all of this paraphernalia is from the pool. We also bring up the sand toys from the river and the rafts, and all of that has to get put away, so it's quite a job. The biggest problem I have out here, I'm just being honest, most of the year it's way too hot or way too cold to be out here, so I just avoid it like the plague. I come running out and I drop things on this workbench and I go back in the house and I think I'll put it away later. And that happens over and over. I'll drop things here and say, well, they need to go up on the shelf. I'll do that later. And now I've ended up with this. I want to jump back to the decluttering is not a one-time job. It is a continuous job that will have to be done for the rest of your life, as long as you own possessions. Most people mistakenly think that if they do a grand declutter, they won't have to do it again, but they will. I call this the layering system, one layer at a time. And I referred to this in one of the videos. It's kind of like knocking down by percents, 100%, 90, 80. Most people can't do the giant leap and just get rid of all their stuff. So we go in layers, depending on our season of life. Are we moving or not? Are we having a new baby? Are we retired and empty nesters? Depending on your season, you're gonna wanna take more or less layers off. I did a major layer in the spring. So here's some before footage of what the garage looked like then. It was jam-packed. I literally had no space. Does this look familiar to you? Is your garage similar, or are you a lot neater than I am? This is years of projects and hand-me-downs and all kinds of stuff. And it took a long time to go through it. It took a complete weekend. And what we started with was a very large trash bag. And we actually pulled our truck up because we knew we'd be taking things to the dump. We took all the boxes and bins we could find and laid them out on the garage floor. We slowly began to label them into different categories. And we did have some things that were already categorized, and we went through all of these bins. First of all, deciding if we wanted to keep the item, and then where would it go? And then everything we kept had to fit in a container. And then came the labels. All of the empty containers back there on the top shelf, I emptied during that layer. I got rid of so much, but there's still work to be done. So today's the next layer. Come and declutter with me. This is day 2. I came out and it just looks like a hot mess. So that's very motivating for me to get rid of this stuff. It's a lot colder than it was yesterday, so I'm bundled up and ready to go. I'm going to do a quick tidy with what I left yesterday, make sure trash gets to trash. I pulled up my truck and I'm going to start putting donate stuff and things for the dump in there. I actually think there are some more life jackets down at the beach. Do you want to see a major project that's going on? Come along with me. Here's the river that goes along our property, and it's a very long story. Our neighbors have an easement for an irrigation pipe that goes along our 10 acres. And the flood that we had a year and a half ago damaged all of this. It washed out our road, it took our deck, and it ruined their pipe. And so they finally decided that they were going to repair the pipe, and they had to reestablish the road to get access. And so they are taking care of all of this. You can see some old pipes. And this is kind of the last of some of the garbage that's been brought down by the flood. We've taken quite a bit out. These concrete steps that were here just got destroyed, and pieces of like foundation from upriver. I don't even know where these came from. You wouldn't believe the things that we found after the flood. This is such a huge blessing for us because this was giant boulders all the way down. I'll have to do a video later. I promised a property video so I can show you guys the befores and afters. But here is our lovely beach. The river is very low because it's fall and the water's gone down, but we still have sand toys to go through. And I'm just checking for floaties and life jackets. I only found 5. Guys have been working so hard, and they've just been so respectful and wonderful to us. And these stairs, about halfway up, was destroyed by the flood. You can see the house. Ooh, it's been pretty noisy over there. Wow. My daughter will put away the kids' floaties. This is the last of the life jackets. Okay, slightly winded hiking up those stairs. Here's something I need to take a look at. These are 2 things for the Airbnb, a high chair and a pack and play. Now, in the 3 years, 2.5 years we've been doing Airbnb, we have had a request for the pack and play 3 times. We have never had a request for the high chair. So guess what? I don't want to keep it here anymore. I'm going to donate it. All right, this stool I am no longer using in the house, but I've been saving it to use on the new deck. That's a keep. If the garage burned down, I would go straight out and get one of these because we have to use it all the time. We do have feral cats here. We occasionally trap them so we can have them fixed, and we need this for vet visits. This is our tent. Sometimes we camp out with the grandkids. That was a lot of putting away of seasonal items and then going through stuff as I was going. This part I'm not looking forward to. This is a lot of the stuff where I don't exactly know what's here. If you've been following along in this decluttering challenge, you know one of the questions is, did I know this was here? And if I didn't, how important can it be? Now, once in a while we'll find something and go, oh my gosh, this has been lost. I didn't know it was here. But for the most part, it's like, I didn't even know I had this. And if I did know, would I have known to come here to look for it? And this is what gives us clues to things that aren't as important as we think they are. This chair's just been waiting to go to the dump. Unfortunately, it is really beat up and torn, so it can't be donated. We have a bunch of these mats. We put them around the swimming pool. And the ones that we don't use for the season, we just put in the middle of the garage, and they end up being under the car. So that works pretty well. This is the last day I have to declutter, and I don't have my husband here with me. So there is some stuff I'm gonna leave for him. Sorry if the trucks and the big machinery, it's just so loud around here these days. but that's not a complaint. You can hear rocks tumbling. Anyway, I need him to go through like the building stuff, the drywall supplies and all of that. I don't know what we need to keep. This is paint that I went through recently, and I know it can all stay. This is a steam shot, and it does work pretty well. I don't use it very often, but when I do need it, it really comes in handy. It's great for under the barbecue. It's great for under the barbecue. Oh my goodness. And also for windowsills, to really just get in nooks and crannies, and grout. So although I don't use it often, I think it's a keep. I think I should keep it. These are extra bulbs for our outdoor patio, and they actually need a spot. This came with a whole kit of stuff for the playground, but it doesn't really move around to the extent that, you know, kids need to find stuff, so it's kind of useless. It's gonna go. This used to be in my trunk. It was kind of my thing to hold my bags, my charging cables, etc. I took it out, but I actually think I want it back in my trunk. My trunk has been a little cluttery without it. I have in here some paper goods that are really just kind of emergency supplies. If we lose power, we don't have water because of our well. So we like to keep backup paper goods. And I'm also trying to get a good stock of backup food, and this is where I want it to go. So I need to make space for that. I don't know if you're tired of me talking about layers, but it's really true. These are all the bins I emptied in my last layer. And that was a lot of really great work. And now I'm moving forward and getting even more done. But again, it's hard to do it all at once. So don't beat yourself up. Don't say you're not doing a good job because you got rid of 10 things. That's amazing. Do whatever you can and keep it up, keep going. I didn't really have an intention on refilling these, but things like the light bulbs really shouldn't be in with the cleaning supplies. And that's a new thing. We put up new outdoor lighting. So I'm gonna use one of these for that. Trash. Christmas sign that probably did not get put away in the barn. Last year, I cut my Christmas bins in half. What was left of those bins and our tree is in the barn. I will go put this away with that, although I'm getting ready to pull out all my Christmas stuff. I'm definitely doing a decluttering video on that. That will be a bonus part of the challenge. This belongs on the workbench. This goes to the steam shot. This goes to our carpet shampooer. It is the upholstery tool, so I need to keep that. This paint should be down here. Steam shot, vinegar. This actually wasn't as bad as I thought. This is supposed to be cleaning stuff. You do notice I don't have a label. That is the problem. When we don't label, it becomes a catch-all. Okay, this should be pest control, weed control, that kind of stuff. Oh, this is cleaning. Let's go in there. 30% vinegar used for killing weeds. Great natural alternative. Mouse traps, mosquito stuff that is way old. This can go. Snake stopper. This is a joke. This is actually the first year we have not seen a rattlesnake on this property, which is pretty nice, but we don't need this stuff. There's only one thing that gets a rattlesnake. We tried using these for woodpeckers that were just destroying and continue to destroy the side of our house, but they haven't worked. They can go. More snake stopper. Oh, this is more cleaning stuff. Okay, this is neat's foot oil, and my husband used it for saddles. We no longer have horses or saddles, so I think it probably can go. He uses this sometimes for the pressure washer, but it should go in with the cleaning supplies. I think he's used this too. I'll have to ask him about that. I have some really beautiful oil lamps, and I need to do some research to see if this is toxic when burned. Because if it's not, or I have something I can use, I would love to light those this winter. And if not, then we will just save this for an emergency. Liquid plumber, I mean, if there's a problem, we try to snake stuff out. We haven't had to do that, I don't think, in all the years we've lived here, but I didn't even know this was here. If there was a clog we just could not get through and we wanted to try this, I would have gone out and bought a bottle because I didn't know we had it. So if the garage burned, I would not rush out to get this. So I'm gonna let it go. Same with this, didn't know it was here. Extra dish soap. I don't know why I was keeping it out here, maybe for cleaning outside, but I didn't know it was here. So I would go to the kitchen for that. So this is going in the kitchen. Same with the Dawn and more lamp oil. I also didn't know I had a backup bleach. I usually use oxy powder, but if I have it, I might as well keep it with the other laundry stuff because I didn't know it was here. And that emptied out a whole bin. We use these for all kinds of things, including when the kids are playing different games. So I think I'm gonna put them in with the kids' stuff. That's what I just found in one of the bins. A dried up tarantula. Ugh. So gross, but I'm gonna leave it for my husband to deal with. Okay, again, these were all bins that I emptied with my last decluttering session. And I don't think I'm going to need to put anything back in them, so I think they can be donated. This is an extra bar stool cushion, and it can actually go in my linen closet because I have room for it now. Same with the toilet paper. That's where we keep our extra stash, and I have so much more space. I was given 2 of these. They're so beautiful. My plan was to use them out on the deck of the Airbnb, and I'm getting ready to decorate that. So if I use them, great. If I don't, they're not coming back in here. It's covered in dust and cobwebs. Great indicator that I've never had to get in here. It's for our vacuum, and it's just the regular vacuum. So these are obviously parts I'm not using. The parts I do use are in my laundry room. So these can be donated. This is a freeze dryer that belongs to my daughter and son-in-law, and it gets used quite a bit. It was in our kitchen, and we moved it out here to the garage, which has really helped a lot. It can be a little noisy, but we need to have space for it. I'm hoping to bring in all of our tables here. It's where I planned on them going, but then I bought these chairs. So the chairs I stacked up are a project. I thrifted them with the thought that I would reupholster them and they would be our extra chairs. You've got to pause and evaluate where you are in the process, and I am exhausted and my battery's almost dead on my phone. So I can only film for so long, but I really am ready to be done. That little corner I will have to do another day. My goal is to finish up by doing the workbench. And honestly, I don't think there will be much actual decluttering here. This is where stuff goes that needs to be put away and we're too lazy to do it, so we leave it here on the bench. This chair needs to be repaired, so I know that just has to be put to the side, but most of it is stuff that I need to put away. Decluttering is hard work. There's no doubt about it. It is hard physically. It's definitely hard emotionally. There's so many decisions that have to be made. We need rest, and we need gaps of time in between our decluttering sessions to give us new perspective. I'm thrilled at the layer that was removed today. And I just keep making progress, and it's really encouraging. Oh, this is what happens when you blow out the garage without your mask on. Let's take a look at the before footage. I'll show you a little bit of the last layer, and then what it looked like yesterday when I started and how it's looking now. If you've made it this far, way to go. I'm sure this is going to be a long video. This was a lot to tackle. Make sure on big jobs like this that you put the time aside. You make sure you have food ready to grab. Nothing elaborate that you need to prepare. And get a helper that can help with the physical load as well as the emotional load. Someone who can keep you on track and ask the hard questions. My last video in this decluttering series will be all of the things that I have learned from doing this, as well as a look at junk in your trunk. I did go and get a booth and I sold there, and that's a lot of fun. So watch for that video. If you're not subscribed, I hope you'll consider that. And if you hit the bell, it notifies you when I upload a new video. Subscribing is completely free. I'm not doing this to get subscribers. It is helpful because it pushes my videos out. It helps the algorithm and it lets more people see what I'm doing. If I can help anyone declutter their home, have more peace, then it's completely worth it to me. But looking at the subscribers, I'm like, I am so close to 10,000. That would be amazing. I wonder if I could hit it by the end of the year. So if you know anyone that might be interested in my channel, would you mind sharing it with them? That is truly a vote of confidence, and I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining me today on The Peaceful Home for this garage clean out and declutter.